Welcome back to the Mom's U. Today we are at Colette's house.
Yes.
I'm liking this
Welcome.
changing, rearranging.
It's a good call to action because you're like, if it's at my house, I gotta get it cleaned. So
Yeah.
gotta be organized.
I know next time it's at mine and I'm like already like, okay, I need to get this ready. You don't realize how much planning goes into like doing stuff like this.
Yeah.
It's good that we can switch it up because I think it's fun to switch up the set.
I do too. I think it's a lot of fun. You guys should let us know what you think. If you like the switching and changing or if you would rather see like one set.
Consistent, yeah.
Yeah, because that's always like interesting to know what people like. Yeah. So what's new with you guys?
Well, Shay's birthday came and went, and we went skiing, and it was a blast, and he's 36.
Oh my gosh.
That's so crazy.
Because I feel like he's not getting older.
Yeah.
Like our kids grow up around us, but it's like you don't really feel like you're getting older.
I also feel that way. Like I'm in my 20s still.
Yeah,
but I'm not
for sure.
in my 20s still.
22. Forever.
But in here I am.
I know that is a weird thing. So you guys are going on your 8th year of vlogging.
Yes.
Is that so crazy to think?
Yes, it is crazy. And we're not doing every day anymore, but it is weird.
I know people like tweet me like, tell Shay to upload. I'm like, no, you tell him. Why is that my job?
You know, I don't think people realize, and I didn't realize this either, because Casey's always been in charge of the vlogs, but I always thought like, just put a vlog up. Like, it takes so much time. When he was hunting this year, I tried to vlog every day, and I was like, I'm gonna put him up every day. It takes so much time.
Yeah.
And you do miss out on a lot of things because instead of going to the movie, you have to stay home and edit.
Because that's a lot of it. Like filming doesn't really take that long, but the whole process of editing. I mean, Shay's a pro at it now. Let's be honest.
The
She's so
internet
good.
in Idaho takes a long time. I'm like, I'm always, I know, Kayli makes fun of me every time we go to California, I upload something, I'm like, you see how fast that goes? It's so fast, it blows my mind. And Kayli's like, did it blow your mind from last time, like the last 5 years you were here? I'm like, yes, it's still blowing my mind. Idaho's like 9 years later and 4 Maybe I'm at halfway through my video. Idaho, please get faster internet.
No, it's hard. It's hard waiting. It's like, come on. Yes. What's new with you?
We got a puppy, a golden doodle. He's the cutest little thing. It's been really great for Cooper every day. He's just really wanting like a brother or sister, and we've had to have that talk with him. That was interesting. We'll save that for another Mom's too.
Oh, you did?
We had the talk with him, and it was really innocent to see how he sees it, and it made me, this sounds probably PG-13, but it made me appreciate sex in a different way, because it's like when you have to explain and teach your kids about serious things of life, it really calls you to like a more fuller perspective of something. And so when we gave him the talk,
makes you feel like, how do I really feel about this?
yeah, and it kind of it's reteaching you. And so I was grateful for that little moment, and we didn't plan it. It just like kind of came up and felt right. And so we had the talk about brother and sister and how that happens. And his reactions were hilarious. He was just like, ew. And then we got to talk to him about it. But so yeah, so we got a puppy, and that's been really fun. And now that I have a backyard and stuff, it just feels like pieces of my family dreams are coming together, and he's like full work, way harder than a kid.
Yeah.
They don't communicate, and they just pee on your floor all the time,
They're
chew up
really
everything.
hard in the beginning, but then once they're trained, they're a lot.
They
of
just
fun.
bring so much
it is
love.
hard.
Like my favorite thing is to watch Jackson and Cooper and Amigo wrestle on the floor at the end of the night.
Cute.
And Amigo is biting Cooper's pants and pulling him down, and we're like laughing. But
And you know what will be so fun when you do have a baby and they grow up together? Like Winston loves Bronx. Yeah. Like when he sees Bronx, he just like hugs him and cuddles with him and lays by him and is just like so excited still. Yeah. He's always like, Mom, it's Bronx. You know, because he likes to run around all day. So when he finally comes in the house, he's like, look, he's here.
it's Bronxy. I don't care. I might be that crazy dog lady, but I'm like, I know dogs can sense and feel things that we can't, and they just bring that into your house, especially with kids. My best friend brought her baby over, and Amigo immediately acted differently towards her. It's like, oh, good, we don't have a demon dog. It's not going to eat our baby when we have one. But
Golden Doodles are the cutest. Yeah, they look like teddy bears.
Yeah, and he hasn't been shedding a lot, which we're grateful for because I'm like a neat freak. So
you know what's so funny about dog shedding is you just get used to it. I remember I used to be so grossed out by dog hair, and now I don't notice. Like we all have dog hair on us.
It's part of you.
Whatever.
Like there's another part of my family member on my sleeve.
I just like taking him everywhere. All right, Larry, are you ready for a topic?
Yes.
So my topic today was inspired by a quote that I'm sure that you guys have all heard, and it is, behind every successful woman is a tribe of other successful women who have her back.
I like that.
And that has really stood out to me lately because like this fall I got into like this big funk. Like I just could not pull myself out of it. I was like really, really sad. It was like a really hard time. was feeling really lonely. I was turning myself into a hermit in my house, just like, just feeling sorry for myself. And usually I can pull myself out of that. Like I haven't struggled with depression for a really long time. And around that time is when we quit filming the Mom's View.
Yeah.
And so I didn't have that either. And it was unexpected when we quit filming, and I was just like, where are my ladies? And everyone was so busy. And my little sister took me to a women's seminar just a couple weeks ago. And it was just this group of women, and we did like weird exercises where we like slow dance with ourselves, and we were all just like cheering each other on. And I feel like renewed and restored and just so happy, because it's such a good feeling to know that there are so many women behind you.
Right.
That's a good feeling, and that room was just full of that. And I think even though those things can be weird, they're so good to do. Yes. And I feel like now we're like back in the flow of filming the Mom's View, so I feel like this team and we're always cheering each other on. And I just feel like that is very, very true. Like as women, we should be like cheering each other on and just pushing each other and believing in each other instead of competing in each other or with each other. Another thing that we did at this thing was we wrote, sorry, I'm like out of breath. That was everything that I had. We also did this exercise where we wrote down things that were like roadblocks. So you wrote down like a few things, and one of mine was comparison. And after that, we crumbled them up and we threw them away because we don't need that in our life. So that's something maybe you could do too. And my top one was comparison. It's so easy for us as women to compare ourselves. We're not a good homemaker. We're not as good at this. We're not as good at that. We're not as successful as this person. And when you start to do that, you start to compete with them without even realizing. Right. And we just don't need that. Like we don't need to be comparing ourselves to other women, and we should be focusing on the good things about us. So I think that everyone should do that. Like crumble that up and throw it away.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of feel like I was in that as well. And I wonder if it's the weather.
Like yes, I think it was too. It was easy to be a hermit.
Yeah.
It's cold outside.
I mean, it can be really beautiful. Like the snow is beautiful. But when you can't go outside and you do feel like you're stuck in, or if you're snowed in, like you just start to feel that like, you know. And I definitely got in that. I started reading The Power of Now. Have you guys ever heard of that book?
Yeah.
It's so good. And it talks about that a little bit, about like with women, like we all have like our individual pain bodies, like things that are a source of pain for us, but women collectively have like a collective woman pain body, and we can either like feed that by comparisons or negativity, gossip, you know, what all those things that women can get stuck in, or we can do what you did and like be positive and feed the positive things. And like be able to get rid of that. He even talked about like, I don't know if this is TMI for anybody, but like your menstruation time being like that can be a huge like painful time of month, like emotionally and physically, but how you can like rechannel that into like a enlightening time of the month. And I thought that was so interesting. Anyways, you guys should read it.
I need to be enlightened just during that time.
Oh my gosh, it's such
the week before I'm just so hateful and I'm so angry, and then I'm like, wait, what's happening? Okay, this is what is happening.
It's funny too, because like as you like, we're all old enough to know when the signs are that we're getting our period, and it's still every time it's like, oh, that's why. That's why I've been crying uncontrollably.
That's why everything that Casey does is making me crazy.
Or just so irritated at like, oh, that wash rag, I hate you.
I know, it's so funny.
It's so true though. But he talks about that, and he talks about how that is not you. Yeah. Like it really is just like the pain body working through you.
I feel like it's like the Scarlet Letter where she wears the red A. It's like I feel like I should have a big red P on me, like
don't.
That's what's happening.
Talk to me.
I'm not an outcast. I just have this thing. It's a condition. It's a period.
You can just like slap it on your forehead. Yeah. Yep. Don't talk to me.
Back off.
I'm grateful Jackson's very understanding, because he only had a sister and a mom, so he like knows. I'm like, oh, bless your heart for not having brothers. Yay! Tiny success. I love that, Kayli. I think I would never know that you were struggling with comparisons, because you always seem very happy and like everybody's little sunshine. So I feel bad that I wasn't being a good sister-in-law friend.
No, but you were. Like that's the thing, is like we're not always like, you know, I'm really struggling with this right now. Like it's hard to like.
But that's also a good lesson, because I also feel like that's when you should call on people to like, I just needed some friendship, or I just need a hug. But that's hard to do as a woman, because it feels weird to be vulnerable with your feelings and express yourself, because sometimes you're still trying to iron out why you feel that way. Right. Something that I've been trying to live by is, if you're going to water your flowers, they're going to grow. If you're going to water your weeds, they're going to grow. So you need to choose like what you water. But it is hard when especially when your hormones are like playing with you and everything around you seems to be thick in weeds. But it's like you can choose to find one flower, you know, it's like the cliche thing, but it's true. And I do think that it was like there was a period of time where it seemed to be cool to be competitive and like comparing ourselves and, you know, not to support each other. But like after that Trixit event I threw and seeing so many talented women with passions behind them come together, it was like inevitable to feel inspired being in the room because you could just see how everybody had the dream. It was like they were carrying this dream above their head, and to bring those little dreams together just made like one big dream. And that's like the power of numbers, you know, and I believe there is strength in numbers. And so it's like, why knock someone down when you can pull them up, because it's only going to make you be pulled up higher.
Right. I loved the Trixit event, and I felt the same way. It was just like this most uplifting, amazing thing to see all of these women just like living their dreams, like trying. It's not always easy to do the things that they're doing, like to run a business by yourself. Takes so much work, and these women are incredible. That was a lot of fun.
And finding that balance and being a homemaker and a wife, or, you know, trying to find your soulmate or whatever else that you're doing. It's like that quote from Mean Girls. That's where I find all my inspiration. She was like, no matter how bad you make her look, I don't even know if it was Gretchen who said it. She was like, but it's never going to make you look better. By tearing somebody down, you're never going to be built up. And I don't know why, but like I think 2 years ago I had that, like I had watched that movie and I had this like aha moment from Mean Girls. But it was true. I was like, that's so true. Like no matter how badly you gossip about somebody or how poorly you treat somebody, it's never going to make you better, stronger, kinder. It almost actually makes you look worse. So
that reminds me of this other quote. You can tell who the strong women are. They are the ones you see building one another up instead of tearing each other down. And I think that that's so true. And I think when you find happiness within yourself, it's so much easier to build others up. And when I say like I compare myself to others, I don't ever feel a need to compete with other women. Like I don't ever feel that competition or like I need to tear them down. It's more of like something that I do to myself. And I'm sure you guys can relate. Like I'm not as good as them, and it makes me sad because I see them up here. And I see myself like so low.
But it's like tearing you down a little bit, and we don't realize that like the comparison is the thief of joy.
Yes, exactly. But I do agree with that. And I have noticed throughout my life when I've been happier, I am more likely to like tell someone that they're doing a good job or, you know, give them credit. Everyone wants to be given credit for whatever they do, even if it's not the best, even just credit for trying. So, and I've noticed when you're happy with yourself, you're more likely to put that out there.
That's true.
It is a challenge though when you feel that. It's like quickly turn that frown upside down, make it a positive thing. But it's true. I agree.
And like you were saying, if you are feeling sad, it is good to reach out to people. That's the best way to get out of like a little funk. I don't like to call it like depression. I like to call it like a little funk, and you try to like pull yourself out. And just surround yourself with people who make you happy. I think that that's a really important thing. Like even if you have to force yourself to get out of the house.
Something I've read in the comments that I've kind of has opened my eyes a little bit is I've read a lot that people are like, well, I don't have anybody to turn to, or I don't have good friends or good family members. And while I know that that's like very heartbreaking and you may feel alone, I think that when we go through this world looking for opportunities to serve other people or find people who we'd relate to, it forces you, instead of living your life like this, to kind of look up and look around. And I think that people would be surprised that there are more people that probably need friends, and you can see the same signs in yourself that you'd see in them, and they'd be a great candidate for a friend. So maybe, I don't know, keep that in mind when you walk down the halls of school or you sit at lunch. Like look around for other people who might be feeling the same way you do, and even though it's scary, break out of your bubble, you know, try to go be a friend, because what are you going to lose?
Like you said, it's good to be like in tune with what's going on around you too. Like I feel like when you're in a funk, it's easy to kind of like focus on like me and everything's terrible, which makes you more depressed, because it's like you are like, why am I so sad? I have all of these amazing things happening, and then you feel guilty for that, which makes you like go back into that little ball of sadness. But I had a good friend reach out to me during this time, and she just said, you've been on my mind. Is everything okay? Like, how are you? You just been on my mind a lot. And I was like, oh, she must like, be knowing that I'm sad, whatever. But come to find out is she was in the same place that I was in. And if I would, I didn't reply because I didn't want her to know. And I'm sad now that I didn't, because I think she needed me more than I needed her maybe, or we needed each other. And I wish so badly that I would have just been like, I'm really sad right now, because then maybe she would have said, I'm really sad right now too. And we could have helped each other. So I think it's good to like notice people around you and what they might be going through.
It's hard, like you said, though, because I don't ever think that like ignoring or suppressing feelings is healthy. And I'm not saying like take that and run with it and just like diagnose yourself that you're depressed, you know, because we all go through the highs and the lows. I don't care how successful, happy, perfect your life may seem. Everybody goes through those highs and the lows. Like, you know, we're telling you about like, I feel the same way, like, you know, and then you feel bad for feeling that way. You're like, I should feel motivated and feel blessed.
The fire.
Yeah, for all these things I have. But sometimes it's healthy just to have a down day or to have like a, you know, explore your thoughts, and it's like an exercise. I think it's healthy to go through that range of emotions and be like, why am I feeling this way? What is it about? Because then, like you said, it's almost like you hit a low so that you can go back to the high and like get going with the roll again. But I don't think that like, you know, you don't need to ignore it. And not that we were saying that, but just, you know, practice going through those emotions and don't suppress them, because I feel like that can backfire and come out in random times when you're not thinking about it. Like I noticed that I kind of diffuse frustration in weird ways. I think that it's easy to do. Like, so maybe I'm late, I feel frustrated. Jackson hung a hanger in the wrong spot. I'm like, oh, he hung this hanger in the wrong spot. It's his fault, but it's just us diffusing that frustration into something else that's not really playing into what's going on. And that's in the same book I talk about all the time, that Brene Brown book, but it's true, you know, it's hard to sit down and really focus on the like funnels of your life and why you're going through those things. And I think once you start to recognize those things, whether it's hormones, whatever, then it's easier to kind of, you know, move on from it and learn from it. But feeling guilty about any of it though is just not needed.
It's hard. It's hard not to feel guilty. Yeah. Everything like, my kids are healthy. What else could I ask for? That's what I want. But just when you get stuck right there, sometimes it's like so fun to live in that misery. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. I don't feel like it's fun, but there's something about it that it's hard to...
A comfort almost? I don't know, maybe you don't...
Maybe only because I like feel justified in being in sweatpants all day. I'm like, oh, I'm having a bad day, it's fine. I can just eat chocolate all the day long.
So anyways, the moral of this topic is that we should be bringing each other up. We should be lifting each other up. We should notice the people around us and help and be happy and spread happiness.
I like what you said too, and like give other people compliments. Focus on them and build them up. That's awesome. Feel good. Makes my heart feel happy.
Well, I am feeling really inspired by you guys. You guys always lift me up, and I think that is like the best thing, is to, like I said, just surround yourself with people who are building you up. And another person who builds us up all the time is Angel. So let's see what she has to say.
What's up, guys? I'm here to drop in my 2 cents on what Kayli's talking about, the topic she brought in. First of all, let me say I miss you guys. I've just got to start every single last one of my little 2 cents off with that. I miss the 3 of you ladies, as well as the audience of the Mom's View. But yes, Kayli, I 100% agree with the fact that behind every strong woman is a troop or a whole group of other strong women. I had the privilege of growing up in a household of just women. It was my mom and my 3 older sisters, and I attribute majority of my success to the fact that they have supported me 100%. Every success I have had, they have cheered with me. Any failures I have had, they've encouraged me to move past it. And I feel like if I did not have that, I probably would have given up on my dreams a long time ago. So as I've moved forward in life as a professional woman, I try to recreate that. I try to surround myself with other strong, supportive women. That was one of the reasons why I wanted to be a part of the Mom's View and was loving working with the Mom's View, was because I got to be around other strong, supportive women. And the same thing with the stuff that I'm still doing here. I just enjoy working with strong women because it feeds me. It gives me so much energy. And then also, I feel like I also get to do the same thing, encourage other women and show them like, you are so good at this, and say that and see, like, I guess, them grow stronger through having someone have their back. And then also women who aren't quite there yet, that are still working past insecurities to move into their true purpose and move into what they do well. I love being able to point that out to them and hopefully encourage them to take a step out on faith and just do them and do it well. So yes, I feel being around women that can encourage you and that you can encourage is the best way to become successful, to be stronger as a woman, and to be able to really tap into all of your capabilities. So before I go, let me encourage the three of you. I'm so proud of you all for picking yourselves up by your bootstraps and producing more content for this channel. It was a huge thing to have a show that was, or a channel that was fully produced by a production company and having all that responsibility put on your shoulders. And I just want to applaud you all for not giving up and for having each other's back and going. We're not going to let this channel go away. We have content, we have things that we can do to encourage our audience members, and I'm sure your audience appreciates it. I appreciate it. Love you guys. I miss you guys. I miss the audience. I miss everyone. All right, that's my 2 cents, and I'll talk to y'all later. Be blessed.
Angel, thank you. You always bring a broader perspective. I always think like, oh yeah, we hit it, and then she just fills us so much more. Yes. We love you. Thank you, Angel.
Thank you.
All right, you guys, that is it for today's video. We hope that you liked it. If you have any encouraging words, please leave them down below and build each other up in the comments. Yes. Always, like, say nice things. Maybe go through and compliment one person.
Yeah, yes. And I think building yourself up too. Like, look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself how much you love yourself. Mm-hmm. Do it. It's hard.
That's so true, though. That's
easier to do it for other people.
Yeah, but build yourself up, then you're more likely to build others up.
Yes, love it. All the feel goods.
All right,
love you guys.
Thank you so much for watching. Bye.